Well, here is something just a bit scarier than that guy dressed up as Freddy Krueger tonight. And that's trusting someone with your hard-earned savings. We know that, right? The risk comes when you choose someone that doesn't always have your best interest in mind. But there are ways to avoid falling victim. And for that, we're turning to Cory Sickles. He is the president of Safe Harbor Retirement Group. So good to have you back, Cory.
Glad to be here.
All right, let's talk about some of the things we need to be aware of. When we talk to somebody, and we're talking about saving our money, investing our money, that's a lot. It's a big deal, right? Because it's all we've got. So what are some of the things that we need to kind of listen and watch out for?
You know, just like in anything, in any industry you look at, you know, there's always a few bad apples, right? So, you know, there's some financial advisors out there that might try to take advantage of you. You know, and one of the things you really need to be able to really look at is you want to make sure that they do have a fiduciary responsibility to you. What I mean by that is they're always looking in your best interest. And one of the first things I'll kind of talk about is maybe an advisor that you're working with maybe points out that you should put a big lump sum of your money into one particular product.
Right.
And one of the things that we try to do, it's a little bit different at Safe Harbor, is one is we're never going to put everything into one product, and I think a lot of advisors out there aren't going to do that as well. So that should be really a big red flag, because if one of the things we do is you want to take a risk tolerance, right? And everything's always based upon risk tolerance. You want to be able to make sure that you're allocated the correct way. And one of the things you can do, if you go to our website, for example, you can go online and you can find out what your risk level is. Because I can tell you this, if you're working with the right type of an advisor, they're not going to put all your money, you know, in one basket.
And when you say risk preference too, people feel comfortable at a certain level, right? A lot of people have, you know, I want 20% here and I don't feel more comfortable than that. And so you do have to put that into consideration with every client. You
do. And here's the most important part is when we do annual reviews with clients, we're going to also look at your risk level again. You know, today you're working.
Right.
You know, next year you might be a year away from retirement, or the next year you are retired and your risk level is going to change, and you want to be able to make sure that you can reallocate based upon your risk level, you know, on an annual basis.
Many of us, I think immediately when we think of a bad financial advisor, right, Bernie Madoff comes into mind. And it's hard to believe that even in today's world that people like that still exist, but they do, right?
They do. It even happens in Ohio. I mean, the last one I think that I read about was maybe in 2017. There was a Ponzi scheme.
Okay.
And you know, one of the things you really need to look at there is when you're talking to them is you want to really make sure that you never write a check out to usually an individual, and in some cases you don't even want to write the check out to that particular firm's name. Because with a lot of, you know, at Safe Harbor, one of the things we do is you're either going to make a check out to TD Ameritrade, that's our custodian, so we don't have custody of any of the money, or if we're going to put it into an annuity or some life insurance, you're going to make the check directly out to that particular organization.
Makes sense.
So I would, you know, a big red flag is if they say make it out to our firm or make it out to me personally.
Like if make it out to Cory Sickles, I'll take that and take care of it for you. Yeah, that doesn't sound good. All right, the other thing, and I know this is something that you know, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is when they promise you some unrealistic return on your money, right? Is that a red flag?
It is a big red flag. You know, if they tell you that you're going to put it in this product is safe, you know, as well as you're going to get, you know, so much expected returns,
right.
It's really a red flag. You really need to make sure that you understand the type of investment you're really getting into. And another thing to look at too is you want to make sure you also understand the fees. If someone's not disclosing the type of fees that you're actually going to be paying them, that's another red flag as well.
And people who rush you into a decision, not something you should take lightly.
No. I mean, anytime, you know, you do not want to, and I've had clients and prospects come in and they might have did business with someone because they'll tell you that they kind of felt a little bit of pressure on that.
Sure.
And if you have pressure, don't just sign on the dotted line just to be able to get out of the situation. One of the things you really need to be able to do is trust your advisor. And if you feel pressured, then obviously in the long run you're really not trusting them. And one of the things that I always recommend, this is something we do at Safe Harbor. If you told me you wanted to do business with me today, I'll say that sounds great, but I still want you to go back and think about it. I'm going to schedule another meeting for you to come in and actually sign the documents.
Right.
So don't do anything, first meeting, second meeting. You want to make sure that when they actually present the solution to you, you go home, make sure you understand what you're getting into, and then come back and sign the paperwork.
And it's good to know, because that's why you guys always also advise a second opinion. So you want people to come in and have that consultation with you and kind of lay out what they're looking for, right? To build that trust.
Yeah, you know, whether or not, say you might have been with the same advisor for many years, but there's nothing wrong with going out and getting a second opinion to make sure that am I on the right track? You know, am I going to have the retirement that I want? And really the only way to be able to do that is to be able to get a second opinion. And there's been cases where someone comes into our office and maybe I can help them, but here's the most important part. If you have someone that's truly a fiduciary, then they're going to actually tell you that, you know what, everything looks good, you really need to stay where you are, your current advisor's done a good job for you.
All right, good to know, and good to know that you can call the team at Safe Harbor anytime. The website and the phone, both up on screen. So Cory, thank you.
Thank you.